are you?
Good. How's it going?
It's been good. So, last time we talked, we went over the eco map. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes?
Mhm.
So how do you think that some of the strengths and weaknesses that we came up with in the eco map have been useful to you?
I think honestly spring break was like a perfect time for me to like rest, recharge, and kind of like reevaluate a lot of stuff. And also too, like for me, like I'm the type of person where I kind of shut my emotions off in order to perform and get done what needs to get done.
Yeah.
So being home where my family knows me the best, like that was just nice to kind of slow down and like force myself to like think. So I think that as far as like I guess my biggest like struggle has been like my relationship with food. Kind of we talk about that the most, and I feel like that's actually gotten better since spring break.
Okay, good.
And I think that's because of just like the emotional, like I don't know, like spring break was like a really good like emotional recharge, and so I think that like that's helped like a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you think that you've seen some improvements lately?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I have actually.
No, that's really good. That's obviously like that's why we're here.
Yeah.
You think maybe like you were just, from what it sounds like, you were just maybe coping with things around you in this manner?
Yeah,
with the food?
actually. I think that it's kind of crazy just being an exercise science major. I know a lot about the body and how it reacts to things. And like, obviously at the beginning of this semester, I lost like a loved one and like I went through a breakup. So I think like my body, like I basically just kind of went into survival mode. And so I think that like now that the dust is kind of settled on that situation, like, I don't know, I kind of realized that like I'm not as bad, but like, I don't know, I just have more clarity on the situation, I guess.
Good.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like you've kind of learned how to process these things, and that going home, being able to recharge, being able to kind of reset your mind was good for you, and be around people who know you best. That's really good. We also talked about a mantra. So how do you think that's been working for you? Have you noticed any differences?
So I kind of was thinking about just something that would help me when I feel, I guess, out of control or whatever. But something that I thought of was just kind of like I earned it. Because I do, like the more I thought about it, I eat like really well.
Yeah.
I feel like. I mean, like, yes, I have the occasional like sweets and treats or whatever, but like the vast majority of what I'm cooking for myself and like putting into my body is like healthy stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that also too, just growing up with dance, like I've talked about, like skinny was eating disorders.
Yes.
And so I've never allowed my body to kind of just settle into like genetics and kind of like naturally like how it's supposed to be. And I feel like this is like how I am now is how my body was designed. And so I think that I earned it. It was kind of like my mantra of like I'm pretty active, I do eat well, so like I'm not here because I'm not eating, or I'm not here because of like whatever. I'm here because of what I know and what I've learned and what works for me. So yeah.
Good. Yeah. So you feel pretty comfortable with where you're at now? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really good, and it seems like that mantra is helping you, and you're right. You have earned it. That's an awesome accomplishment, and to realize that it's okay to reward yourself sometimes, and you don't have to be perfect. I think that's really good. I think all the progress that you've made, even realizing that sometimes you just need to reset and recharge and be around people that love you. And it seems to me as though spring break was that for you. So I think that's really good. I think that there are definitely a lot of positives that we can get from this. Do you agree?
Yes, I do actually. I think that it's just showing myself grace. Like I'm like the hardest person on myself, and so I think that like I just, like I said, like going back to just like, I don't know, because it's crazy how when you go through something traumatic, quote unquote, like your body kind of shuts down, and like it's hard. Like it was like, so I think for me, like I was scared when I was like really sad and like I was just crying a lot and like I didn't want to eat, that would turn into an eating disorder. And so I think that's what stressed me out the most. But then once I realized, like, no, like, this is just a time, like a period in my life where things do feel out of control, but food's the one thing I can control. Like, this is just a period of time. It's not my life. And so I think that it's kind of also like showing me how hard I do work for like cooking for myself and taking care of myself and all of those things. So like, just because it doesn't look the way that it used to doesn't mean that it's not good now.
Exactly.
So.
Right, and that's another really good thing to realize, that things are okay to be different. That it's okay to not be the same as you once were, but that doesn't make it mean it's wrong. That means that it's just different, and you're growing and you're adapting and you're learning, and that is positive, and that is something that will help you in all aspects of your life. So I think that's a really good realization. It seems like you're in a really good spot right now, and that you're okay with maybe not being perfect all the time. And by perfect, I mean like your expectation of perfect, what seems to have been from these conversations, but that doesn't mean that it's not good. And I think that you're doing a really good job at balancing and just doing what makes you happy and just being at ease. That's what I'm getting from this conversation. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, it's been like kind of crazy just this semester of realizing how I've been holding myself to the standard of perfection, and just kind of, that's not possible. It's not. And so it's kind of just like I said, like showing myself grace and realizing that it is okay, like change is good. And like if I stayed the same, that wouldn't be good. So like just allowing myself to grow and change and adapt to different things and different situations and stuff like that. So I think that there's just been a lot of good in that aspect.
Good, and I think you have definitely shown yourself grace. You keep using that word, and I think that that's something that represents this well. And it seems to me as though you're growing maybe in all aspects of your life, or you're on the way to growing, and I think that's really important. So moving forward, you've said that you're in a pretty good place right now. You feel very confident in what we've been talking about. So what are some ways that you would like to make sure that we can keep this moving in the right direction and that you can keep growing?
I think that the mantra was really good. So I mean, like, as seasons change, I'm gonna have to change that. So I think that now, like, confirming that, I guess, maybe, I don't know, affirming myself in that, I don't know, but just like I earned it. Like, that is where I'm at in this season of life. So I guess, like, for me, it'll be rewording that when the time comes, you know. So I think that'll be really good. And I'm such a visual person, so like in times where I feel like I need more encouragement, I'll like print out pictures and like put quotes up on my wall. So just like words and visuals are always my thing. So yeah, so I think for me it's just like constantly having that encouragement, because when I don't have it for myself, seeing it and forcing myself to say it or read it or whatever, that usually helps me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really important, that you know yourself well enough to know what clicks for you and what inspires you, and visuals and words, and that makes things clear to you, it seems like. So I think that's really good. I think in the future it's important to continue to do that, like you said, to change your mantra.
Yeah.
And to just allow yourself to grow as your situations around you change. And I think that that's really good. I think you're in a really good place right now. So is there anything you'd like to talk about next time? I think that you're in a really good spot right now, and I think you've made a lot of improvement, and that's really encouraging.
Yeah, I honestly think, I don't know, I think I'm in a really good place, and I think that just allowing myself to grow goes beyond just this one circumstance. I think it's like for me, I've just noticed how I've been resisting change, of like adapting to new situations and new ways of processing things and all that. So I think just like overall, just allowing myself to grow, and like there's some things that I realize like that I need to work on within myself, because ultimately it's a one-on-one type of thing for me. And so I think like, I don't know, I feel like as far as this, I feel like I'm in a really good spot to try and figure things out on my own.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I definitely would like to hear more about that one day in the future. But for now, I'll let you go, and keep working on that and keep it up because you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Have a good day, McKenna.
Okay, thanks.